So that's James's fancy meal for the day, and it's yam stew with some cream cheese in it. You can see the calories off that cream cheese. And this bread that I made the sandwich with is this one, Dempster's protein with whole grains loaf. And so that's 14 grams of protein in those 2 slices, 200 calories, 3 trans fat percentage of daily value, 3. Sugar, 1 percentage of daily value, but the carb is 31 grams. And so what I've done here is I have put down the nutrient density in terms of cost per gram of protein. So because I'm working out, I'm trying to build my protein, my muscle mass, and I want to get the most out of my calories and in protein, and I don't want a lot of saturated fat or sugar. So those are the numbers there, and you can see these other things that I have and the numbers that I've made there. And you might think, oh, Pauline, you're comparing. See, look at how
apples
good Vega.
and oranges.
Yes, apples and oranges. And look at egg whites, how good they are. So steel cut oats, 32. But you know what? That was keeping me full. So
Yeah.
I don't know. And there's some other things, and then I haven't filled in everything on this side yet. But you can see all those things. So don't let's go to the dogs tonight. Got top of the stacks against these other ones. And we will talk about that. And this is how I'm doing my soup. So I'm not having the sandwich. I'm probably going to have some grapes later today, I hope.
You had some
Clearly
yesterday,
fiber.
right?
I'll mix that in. And that clearly fiber, though it's I don't recommend it for mixing in with juice. I do recommend it for mixing in with soup very much. It works very well for this. So
You don't notice in other ones?
no, it's honestly, you just sprinkle it in.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, and it sort of starts mixing itself in right away. But then when I stir it, it's gone. Whereas with the mixing it into a drink, I had some lumps. So that was not so great. But anyway, so James is probably going to start talking about let's go to the dogs tonight. It's hard for me to remember that title because it doesn't
So while you eat,
make sense to me. Yeah, you can talk about it because so what happened is, if you've been watching us, you'll remember that I've already watched Don't Let's Go to the Dogs Tonight, and I had a hard time deciding should it be first or second in the stack against what I'd watched earlier. And honestly, James is right that the little girl in that, she should get the Academy Award or whatever for Best Actress. No question. Such a good job. And the director should get win the award for Best Directing.
I think she was acting in the show too. She knows kids. It's incredible.
Yeah. To get that out of a child actor.
Presumably
really
somewhere around 8 years old or something like that. I think they were saying that this.
Well, I think she was supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly right.
But she doesn't look 8 to me, but
Looks younger.
maybe that's just because she looks like I looked when I was about 4. And she reminds me of sort of like how I was, only I was walking around in nature. You know, I'd go out on the farm and I wasn't allowed to go certain places, and sometimes I'd creep over where I wasn't supposed to go.
But generally you stayed within.
Generally I did.
Because there were bears up there. We were talking about Grand Prairie.
Well,
Peace River, Grand Prairie country.
around Eaglesham.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, and she ran around like a little wild animal, and that's what I was like when I was little. I was just like a little wild animal. I went out, and my mom had migraines, and she'd get me to go outside and play, and it was safe for me as long as I listened, and I did, to pretty much to where I was supposed to go. And then once my sister was born and could toddle around, she'd say, Pauline, take Kathy outside and play. And then I'd have to, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to take Kathy outside and play. But this little girl's different. Like she has her own little motorcycle that she rides on and stuff. And I don't know. Anyway.
Lugging around a weapon. It's Rhodesia, set in Rhodesia. Last year, I guess, of its existence, 1980, they had what were advertised as free and fair elections, but there was supposed to be a ceasefire, but it was constantly getting broken, apparently, by a guy called Robert Mangy Mugabe, a horrible skunk. I'd forgotten how he was styling himself. He had a party which was called the Marxist something other party. He's a commie. I don't care if a person calls themselves a Marxist or Leninist or a Maoist. You're a commie. Stop trying to hide the naked, filthy facts. We've got a long track record on commies now. It's over 100 years. And they're terrorists. That's Lenin's own formulation, not mine. Revolutionary terrorism. And what happens when you mix, someone once said, politics and medicine? You get politics. What happens when you mix revolution and terror? Well, you get terror. Okay? It's terrorism. And the ultimate judgment on Rhodesia, now called Zimbabwe, is, and the Mugabe government and the stuff that's followed is, well, the Bible puts it, I'm using the Bible to judge seculars, it's a religious belief system too. It's just, it doesn't believe in an afterworld, but it's a religion. Communism is a religion. There are all sorts of religions that don't believe in gods or an afterworld or both, or have different sorts of afterworlds, so on and so forth. It's a religion. And by their fruits ye shall know them. They had a famine around 2000. The rest of the world, including the capitalist world, comes running with arms open wide to hand out goodies and stuff like that. And I don't believe in enabling terrorists and people who elect terrorists or let them take power. If you've elected idiots and they start imposing dictatorship on you, you do what the English people did, what the American people did, and you rise up against them. You don't continue to let them exploit you. Go running off like, oh, save us, United States, save us, England, save us, Canada. Save yourselves. You should have overthrown Mugabe and he died recently, way too long. That scumbag should have died of a severe embarrassment. But it's kind of shown here, the kid wouldn't have known. Like, she throws the communist salute at the guy who's taken over their farm and stuff like that. It's supposed to be the black power symbol, but that's a communist salute, okay? Wake up, like when the Black Panthers are throwing their fists up in the air, they might as well be pooping themselves, understand? It's communism.
Well, showing a fist is not a nice
gesture.
No. Anyway, so people shouldn't be looking at that favorably and saying, oh, that's so wonderful. Isn't that empowering? Anyway.
It's not. It's disempowering. And whenever these flunkies take over, it doesn't matter if they're people of color or non-color or whatever you want. It doesn't matter if it's Russians or Chinese. When they take over, they end up having famines, food shortages, all that sort of stuff. So you can dispute it in your mind, but you've got a mindless mind if you dispute that. History has borne that out any number of times. Anyway, it's a great movie. I, of course, particularly enjoyed it because I used to belong to Rhodesia, really. I was born in northern Rhodesia. It was originally one country. Well, not originally, but when I was there, at the beginning when I was there. It was one country, Federation of Rhodesia and Alaska. Then it split up towards the end of my sojourn there, and so on and so forth. It's been all three of those countries have just been a basket case, basically, despite the wonderful resource, particularly in Zambia and stuff like that. Basket case. Malawi's horrendous. They're so racist. They don't allow anyone who's not an African or whatever, like a black, to be a citizen. And yet we're supposed to accept their citizens here. A guy from there over 2 years wanted to pound me out for doing this. Social distancing. Okay, did you want to talk?
Yeah, sure. So, James said that after he watched this, he said, I think that was the best movie I've ever seen. So,
Could be.
I don't know. I would say it's, for me, I'm watching TV and exercising, or watching TV and eating tomatoes, and that wasn't good for that, because you'd actually want to be watching it. And for exercising, well, it's not like it's fast-paced or get your heart going like a horror movie will, or a thriller, right? So, which is what I would recommend. So, Sovereign. I really think James should watch this one too, but he hasn't had an interest yet. But inspired by true events, Sovereign is a tense and provocative true crime thriller. And it's quite a story. So I really think everyone should watch this too. And you might be watching it and going, this is a story that makes people that are against the system, gun-toting, alt-right or whatever kind of people look really bad, like terrorists or something like that, up against the police. And
if the shoe fits, or if the jackboot fits.
I watched this, and this is not what I saw, but you may see different things when you see this. What I saw is a story about a man that's maybe he's had a little bit too much stress. He's lost his house. They're foreclosing on his house and they're kicking him out. And I see a story about a guy who has lost and isn't handling it well. Isn't handling the loss well. Isn't handling. He wants to be a lot of men want to feel like they're in control of their lives, like they are the king of their domain or whatever, and he has he's not that. He's not feeling like that, so he doesn't handle it well. Now there are things in here I don't even know how he managed to draw a crowd, trying to teach people about money and stuff like that. Like he's talking about, you're watching him talk to a group about the fractionalization of money that is like people like James and I, we are money savers. We don't, like when I was working, it would just pile up. The bank account would just grow and grow. I didn't really spend it. And so, I spend it on things that I needed, like food or house or whatever, but
your house, you almost bought your house outright, and you had it paid off very quickly.
Within 5 years. I planned, I'm going to buy this house and pay off the loan within 5 years. And I mean, I wasn't making a whole lot of money. Well, most would say very little money, but I managed to do it. And sure, it's not the fanciest house in the world. It's one of the least fancy in Lethbridge, but I did it, and it worked for me, whatever. But so he's talking about how people put money in the bank, and then it's like for every dollar, it becomes, I think he says $8 that are lent out to people. So he's saying, you know, money's not real or whatever. It's whatever. But and then he's talking about how, well, where's my, you want to foreclose on my house? Where's my, the 8 times, the fractionalization of my money, that, where is that, you know? I want that back, kind of thing. And it's like, okay, but you borrowed, so that doesn't apply. You know, you owe that money. So it doesn't actually make sense when you're listening to him. You're like, wow, how did he manage to sell this to people? But anyway. That
8 times figure I'm very skeptical about.
Doesn't matter anyway.
Banks and stuff like that, businesses do it. They it's embezzlement. They take a little bit off of here, there, and everywhere. So theoretically, you don't notice it.
So Sovereign. That was a very good movie. At the end of it, I cried, and honestly, I can't imagine that anybody wouldn't. As soon as that baby started crying, oh, I was done. So, why didn't they ask Evans? This is on 2 discs. It's 175 minutes, and it's not the best version of this I've seen. But
you've actually seen it in another movie?
Yeah.
Version? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Morning Show. So this starred Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, and what's his face was in it too.
Steve Carell.
Yeah.
Or however you pronounce his name.
And honestly, watching this show, I don't know what they were trying to say with it. They might have been trying to point out that, look, women, you're things are not going to go so well with what you're doing. I don't know.
About the Me Too thing?
I'm not sure. Because, honestly, like, there's one point where Reese Witherspoon's character, she's the younger woman that comes into the show, becomes Steve Carell's replacement in the morning show. And she wants to do all sorts of stories that would not make people feel good in the morning, right? No. Important stories. And so Jennifer Aniston, she says to her, well, what's wrong with making people happy in the morning, or something like that, you know, like trying to explain to her, you're missing the point. This is not what we do with this show.
Yeah, half the time you already got to put up with the lousy weather report, especially here in Canada, you know, like road conditions are lousy or whatever. So why would you want to go to work with a frown on your face from hearing about this, that, and the other thing?
So anyway, the only character that I really, by the end of it, the only one I really like, well, there's 2. There's the one woman, the Jewish woman that becomes pregnant in the 2nd season. She's a nice person. And the Steve Carell's character, I actually like him more than I like the other people by the end of it.
Well, yeah,
and he's sure, he has his flaws, very much so, but a rapist, a little bit no, right? That by the end of it, you're hearing people refer to him as a rapist. He raped Hannah. Well, no, he didn't. She didn't say no. She could have left. She didn't. And I mean, there's been a lot in my past. I've had experiences where when I was young, thinking, oh, well, maybe I did lead this person on, and so, yeah, I'll go through with this or whatever, and it'll be done, and whatever, who cares? And whatever. That's not at all rape when something like that happens. Because when you have experienced actual rape, boy, you sure know a difference. So, I don't know. I think the Me Too thing, it's important. But I don't think it was always a good thing. And I don't know that things worked out well because of it.
It's important that people be made aware of these issues.
Yeah.
In the workplace specifically.
Yeah.
You have to do here. But it's also important to follow through with the legal system and not witch hunt people. Left-wingers have had a horrible
really
record for witch hunting people.
the issue is people shouldn't get promoted for boozing, schmoozing, or cruising in the workplace. They shouldn't. It shouldn't happen. And it does all the time. And everyone knows it, and it shouldn't happen. And that's because, yeah, there's women that they'll use certain people to get to the top and use their assets as they see them, and that's not right either. That does nothing to empower women. That does nothing to further feminism. And at the end of season 2, you have Steve Carell's character talks to Jennifer Aniston, gets her to introduce the latest person he slept with to so that she can get promoted in the. Is that a good way to? So I honestly don't know what they're trying to say here.
Well, I think they're more just trying to portray issues and stuff like that.
Maybe, and it was entertaining by times. So
Yeah, by time.
yeah, I'm not into
the
soap
greatest.
operas.
Hey, here are Blue Jays back.
Oh, good.
Just in time.
Oh, he's lovely.
Hey there, buddy.
So Americana.
2 of them pulling. Sorry.
Oh,
about
that's
that.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, very fluffy because it's
Yeah.
cold, so they're all fluffed up like little fluffy balls. So,
Yeah.
neither James nor I really cared for this movie that much,
You know,
and the
It's-
Equalizer's just bad.
it
So
has
bad.
a kid older than this girl that was acting in the Southern Rhodesia or the Rhodesian movie,
Yeah,
and he suffered horribly by comparison. I
yeah,
might have thought a little bit better of the movie if it hadn't been, if they hadn't, hadn't watched them in such close proximity to each other.
yep.
Um,
I don't know really what to say about
oh,
the
you talked about
Equalizer.
the
It's so bad.
Try to avoid swearing.
bad.
Okay. Oh God,
I'm gonna
that's so
tell you
awful.
the Blue Jay if I can. I'm gonna try to.
to.
Oh, there he is, handsome Blue Jay. Where's the other one gone?
Well, that one might be the pretty one. I don't know. I think they're a pair. I think there's a male and a female. Going for the.
Oh, yeah, but he's trying to sneak over. I'll put the camera down so that he can go for it, because he's hungry.
Oh.
Okay, so you're going to talk about the Equalizer, or what?
Yeah, something like it.
Okay.
I don't know how much time to talk.
Oh, like 8 minutes, 6 minutes. Hi, honey. He's come right over. I'm not going to move too
He
much,
wants
because
some
I
of
don't want
this.
to. Maybe he does. But
Oh,
no, there's
some stuff on
lots
the
of.
floor.
Oh, why did he take it off the ground?
I think it fell down maybe.
Anyway.
It's not very scared of us. One time, one was looking at us pretty well right in the eye, and his or her crest was just bristling with
Yeah.
excitement.
Very cute.
Mhm.
Oh, there's the other one coming.
Yeah, they're having a fun old time. I heard them this morning. And they were calling. I think one was calling the other. You know, chee chee. Chip,
So,
chip, chip, chip,
I had more fun watching The Equalizer once I was watching it with James.
well, yeah,
Because then
what
we were
did
cracking
say?
jokes back and forth.
Yeah, I
So,
know. It's the only
like,
way to enjoy
James
something
was making
stupid.
fun of how she's holding her gun and
Yeah,
walking
like a
along
kid.
all the time. Ridiculous. And
She'd have millions of people shot.
so then there was one episode where they were rescuing this woman who was giving birth to a baby that was going to be taken away by the people who were helping her give birth or whatever.
Oh, they were going to use the baby for adoption.
Yeah, they were going to adopt the baby out to somebody else because they were taking babies away from junkie women. So,
and giving them to white people. I think. So,
well, I don't know about white people always, but just other people,
Non-blacks.
right?
Mhm.
Well, I don't know, maybe not.
maybe.
But I don't know about who they were giving them or selling them to. But they weren't giving them, they were selling them. But anyway, so she's there with her gun, and then the woman's like, oh, the baby's coming. And so I'm like, no, she's going to deliver the baby. And sure enough, she's right there. And And she has her gun in hand, so James points out the gun's in her hand still. She's going to deliver the baby with the gun in her hand. And so I said, come out with your hands up. And so James started laughing, right? He liked that one.
It was hilarious.
So that was James's favorite one.
Because she went there, like, here's the woman with her legs up, and she's right there,
Yeah.
trying out of the camera. She still got her guns.
Ridiculous. So honestly, I don't know if the people writing this show were just trying to make Queen Latifah and these other actors look bad
Look
and
even stupider than they are.
I don't know. Like, honestly, the costume, the people setting up the wardrobes for her, they must have been out to get her because
Queen
they were
Latifah, you are
dressing
being
her
made a
poorly.
fool of.
Yeah, they were
Oh.
making her look really even bigger.
Big as
and
a double
dumpier.
wide trailer. Wow. Should put a
Terrible.
double wide sign on it.
They had a couple outfits that looked nice, but
Oh.
near the end. But really, most of the way along, it was dreadful.
Wearing, you know, like big dusters. Double wide, she looked like a house. She looked like a mansion.
Yeah.
God. And then fat pants. What were they thinking? Anyway.
But a lot of the way along, you see in TV today, men are not looking good, especially white men. And in the Equalizer, yeah, the white men don't look good. They're not portrayed well in the Equalizer for the most part. But Latinos, boy,
Even worse.
even
than-
worse. And
than
I,
regular white people.
it's incredible.
Yeah.
So, Americana, I think every white man in this died except for the little boy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
That was hard.
So, anything else you want to talk about today?
I don't know.
You have 2 minutes left if you
There
do.
was one more joke that we got from Queen Latifah, but I've kind of forgotten.
Oh,
I
you
gotta
forgot.
remember that. It kind of been that good. This one.
Yeah,
Come on
James
with your
is
hands
mine
up.
the best,
To the
yeah.
baby being born.
So, anyway, I
I
guess.
am going to mention,
Oh,
you know, one of these cops was in the interview room, interviewing someone. The person had their hands on the table. Cop pulls out a hammer. I think it's a ball-peen hammer. He's going to hammer the truth out of the hands of this person.
like, okay, that wouldn't happen. So, no, police are trained in interrogation tactics so that they get confessions out of people. They get people they'll ask a question one way and ask it another way until finally they get the truth or whatever, or something
Most of the time.
nearer the truth or whatever. And sure, some things go wrong in the system, and some people are convicted when they're innocent, but anyway, in the Equalizer, the whole premise of the show is somebody working outside the law to get
Equalize things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so. And you're looking at it going, okay, she's living in this really big fancy house. Where is the money coming from? You know, it's kind of creepy, right?
Yeah.
And
Corrupt on the side, maybe. I don't know.
nobody, if you're an African American, you shouldn't want to hear about people who are setting up private vigilante organizations to try to